To begin my project, I started with looking over the document for inspiration. I looked for words that would be common to a single story and then decided what that story should be. I highlighted words and documented what page they were on to be sure they would fit one image. I decided that the story I would tell would be my story. I decided to go to Google Photos and look up pictures based on things that are important to me and that can relate to my story, using the text in the document to be treated. I looked up love, religion, family, the beach, and so on. I searched through hundreds of photos and selected only the most relevant. Once I had the pictures I liked, I copied those photos to my computer. I then took those photos and inserted them into the script The Secret of Kells to be treated on the appropriate pages. I edited the properties of the photo to make the image fall behind the text so that I could read the text on the page over the photo. I looked through each page line by line to find words that had not only some significance to the photo, but also worked together and felt profound to the story. Once I had the words that were important, I isolated those words, looked at how they worked with each other. I was looking for how they fell on the page and where in the photo they would lie. Once I felt the connection of the words was appropriate to the photo and felt comfortable that it would convey my feelings about it, I simply removed the text that had no relevance to my story by changing the transparency of the irrelevant letters, making those words invisible over the photo. Once I isolated the words that were going to become the focus to each page, I went to each word and decided how I would accent those words, either by changing the color of the font or the background or highlighting the words. I tried to use different techniques with each photo and each word so that they were visually amusing and unique. Next, I removed the pages that I was planning to discard, so that the alignment never changed from one photo to the other, being careful to leave the text in the original script in the exact spot that it began. Lastly, it was time to start working on my script. This proved to be more challenging than expected, and took a great deal more time than I anticipated. Where do you start? What should I say about this process? How do I convey my feelings? Well, at first it looked a little like this, and then it looked like this. And once I got into a rhythm, my story flowed, and then I wanted to do something that would make this different from all the rest. I decided to take it to the next level. Hale's lexicon speaks of many terms used to describe the ideas in creating these works. Digital technology was used to create my images. I intended for the story to be only in electronic literature, and that the reader would not have the same effect while reading it if it was printed, because there are actual hyperlinks embedded within the frames. If the reader clicks on the text, there's a hidden realm of context that is displayed and further develops my story. I think that this makes my project a great example of hypertext. Technology affects the scale, pace, and pattern on an audience. The technology used in creating a treated image changes the scale of the interpretation. Well, now that I have a storyline, it was time to put the words to the pictures. It was time to tell my story. Following that hyperlink, you come to this photo, and place each of my photos as well as links of my actual photos into my presentation, and taking my script, melding them all together. The final draft finally revealed. This is my first image. It represents the start of my family. The words light, lucky bird, two, fall for you, and beautiful tell the story of how I felt when I fell in love with my wife. I felt the connection, knowing what it felt to be in love. From there, religion. We brought our beliefs together, discovering our faith and planning a family, hoping to expand on our family, established and new, trusting in our faith that we would end up where we dreamt of being, all along. Which brings me to the next page. A happy family in front of a beautiful sunset, seemingly on the beach somewhere. Yes, the beach. But we live in Michigan, far from the ocean and the beaches that we desired. Maybe someday we would move to a place that was warm and beautiful near the ocean. We decided to have a baby first, realizing that time was of the essence, as we certainly weren't getting any younger. You see, this is a set of second marriages. One child already in the picture, a family incomplete. So a second child was to come to the enamored couple in love. Well, so we thought. We had no idea the challenges that lay ahead, nearly losing our son several times during a very complicated pregnancy. We were told to plan for the inevitable miscarriage, which brings me to the photo of the Grim Reaper. We're sorry, but there's nothing that we'll be able to do. How do you prepare to lose an unborn child? How do you prepare yourselves, and how do you prepare him? The fear of the unknown for him and for us was impactful on our family. As with any of the text and the images of my story, if you were to click on the word, say, believe, it would link you to another image. While we prepared for the worst, instead, we made it. And alas, he arrived. It wouldn't be long now that we realized our dream of moving to the beach. Our family was finally complete, and we prepared to move from the Great Lakes state, just the four of us, to the ocean where we longed to be, leaving all of the rest of our family behind. The sunshine, sand, salt water, and palm trees, Myrtle Beach it would be. Far from the tropical paradise seen here, but so close to what we imagined when we said we wanted to be by the ocean. And then, the next image, the last one actually, feels to me like a good representation of time moving on, advancing quickly. Where on the left of the photo it seems brighter, as if the sun is setting to reveal the darkness of the rest of the frame. Moving on from day to day, noticing how quickly life will escape. Fleeting, really. How did I get so lucky? How did I get here? I know how. It wasn't luck and it wasn't chance. It was fate.